What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Rev Sports Wrap It Up. I am Josh, alongside the lovely Soul. So we're getting there. This is kind of our flu game. So if I seemed a little low in energy, it's why. But the show must go on. We got stuff to talk about. This might be probably the most we're going to have to talk about till like football starts again. At least with this show, just because of all the U.S. Men's soccer stuff and the World Cup kind of getting to the end. Or at least I know we still have the Elite Eight.
There's still games left.
There's still games.
Even though we're no longer in it, there's
Right.
still games.
There's still games. You still have the heavy hitters. You still have the three biggest stars. I know Ronaldo's out. You still have the three biggest stars going into it, which was Messi, Haaland, and Mbappe. So those three are still involved. We didn't know Norway was going to get here, but they beat Brazil.
Hey, I believed.
Erling Haaland's ridiculous. Plus their Viking photos. That's you knew they were going well.
And I mean, they need to beat England now. I know this is way before getting into the kicking and screaming, but they need to beat England now, as the Vikings did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But you know who else won is your Red Sox. They did something as we round the bases here. So the Red Sox did win the series against the Angels, who are the worst team in the MLB. But hey, a win's a win. Doesn't matter.
We did it.
There was a no-hitter going on tonight, but it doesn't look like that happened. And Verlander has finally said this is it for him. So we had Kershaw kind of hang it up last year, Verlander hanging up this year. But the thing is, it's not like we're losing some legends, but we also have some legends going on, like future legends that we would think, health stand by with Paul Skeens, Skubal, Ohtani. He's just an all-around player, so I don't really look at him as like one of those legendary pitchers. But at least, as far as the younger crowd, Skubal's a little bit older. Skeens is definitely like he's just starting, and he's already destroying teams. On that. But yeah, the Dodgers catcher, Eliezer, I probably butchered that. Alfonso made the MLB debut after his sister and stepmother were found dead from the devastating earthquakes in Venezuela. Dodger fans gave him a standing ovation with his first at bat. He and fellow Venezuelan Miguel Rojas wore messages on their hat, for Venezuela, honoring the victims. It's just a tough situation for them. I knew as far as the World Cup is concerned, is how we sprinkle in World Cup with every sport that we're covering here. But you obviously had the Netherlands player, play after that situation. So it's never fun. We never wish that on anyone. But sometimes you just got to go and play. Sometimes you got to go and work or whatever, just to keep your mind busy in those situations. Thoughts are with those guys, because it's never fun to do with that. But I have been watching videos of that catcher for the Dodgers getting into it with Ohtani and like all of them. And I don't know. I just found that hilarious. If he's just become like public enemy number, like just the D-bag of the MLB. Just from what people are talking about. But I don't know. The Reds are beating the Phillies. Yay. It ain't going to happen. I don't care. So whatever.
So it's not your year.
It's not our year. After the All-Star break, we could rally, but I'm not feeling it so far. So yeah, baseball. Anything else, you guys?
I think it's one of those sad moments where like both of our teams are not doing so hot. So it's just like, we still love the sport. We still love baseball. We still love watching it. It's just like, it's less fun when everyone's team is doing shit. Like, we need one of us to be like, yeah, baseball.
We were good when it started, and then it went to, the Reds were good when it started. The Red Sox never did anything.
And you were like, stop the count.
I would stop the count, and they didn't stop the count. They kept playing those 162 daggone games, and here we are. So
yeah. But you know what other sport has been pretty exciting?
Skip. I guess we let it below before we get into WNBA. There's a lot, obviously, that sport's still going. But going back to Giannis, surprise, surprise, to no surprise at all, the Bucks will be retiring his jersey. I was watching some videos of where Giannis was saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna get traded to Miami," and some people started clapping. He was just like, "No." He was not. He's just he wanted to be in Milwaukee. He wanted to stay in Milwaukee, but it just didn't fall right. And so
And
here
when
we
you
are.
want to win, you want to win.
Yeah, but you can just tell he's very emotional about
Yeah.
this. Typically, players, Antonio. I mean, you just have some players be like, "Thank you, I'm free." Blah 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 blah. Him, he didn't want this. But it is a business, not just a game. And he just doesn't want to go down as just a one-time champion. You win one, good. You are still one of the greatest, but you want to be elevated to being one of the greatest at X position at top 10, which you probably won't be, but still, the best, your favorite championship. I think Tom Brady always says your favorite championship is the next one. So I know you're happy that he's going to Miami.
I am.
This is one of you can just tell it's very bittersweet for him.
Yeah.
Which I was not surprised of his reaction to it. And then a couple of the Milwaukee people saying you played for Milwaukee, but you happen to be a Buck, and so yeah, but it's going to be fun with Mr. 83 and Giannis playing together next year. That is going to be fun to do.
That is going to be fun. And what's going to be interesting is, so right now already in the Miami Heat shop, you're seeing Antetokounmpo number 34, but I don't think he's wearing number 34 in Miami. If I ever hear some rumors that he might be wearing number 7. And so it's going to be really funny when you'll have a bunch of people with Antetokounmpo 34 Miami Heat shirts that have never been as what KS calls it screen scene. Yeah. When they talk about like because the NHL has specialty jerseys, and sometimes people get those specialty jerseys with the player's name on it, and like the player has never actually worn that specialty jersey. So yeah, Antetokounmpo 34 might not be screen seen here and down in Miami. We shall see.
Well, I mean, LeBron changed his number to 6 when he went to Miami. So if you go to Miami, you got to change your number unless you're Dwayne Wade.
I mean, he started here, so
he changed his number from college, technically. So I think he did. I don't know, but yeah, you change your number when you go there to Miami, apparently, or at least when you're a star like that. But yeah, no, there's Dwayne Wade than other Miami Heat players in a sense of how it's viewed as far as legendary status. No offense to the other. I mean, Shaq played there. I get it. But Dwayne Wade, like you said, he started at Miami. He got Miami that championship. He is Miami. When you think like and
UD is more Miami, not only because he's born and raised here, but he stayed and he never left, and he took the pay cuts to continue to stay here. And so then Pat said, you can play however fucking long you want now. Just sit on the bench and get a paycheck. So, yes, Dwayne Wade, Wade County is Miami. But if we're going to talk about who is the most Miami of Miami Heat players, it is Udonis Haslem.
Yeah, no, Mr. Miami is, I mean, the Miami Heat, when you think about, like, you go around to ask anyone, it's like, who's Miami Heat to you?
If you ask anyone outside of Miami, who is Miami Heat, you're going to say Dwayne Wade.
But the heart of Miami Heat is UD.
Yeah.
That's always going to be. Him and Alonzo Mourning, to me.
Him and Alonzo, yeah.
Those are two heart of Miami Heat. But what's also heating up is the WNBA. So tell us about it.
So if you were watching us last week, you got to see us live react to it. But to really get into it, we got to see the New York Liberty win the Commissioner's Cup, beating the Aces 93-85. The game unfortunately did not have Asia Wilson due to injury, and the Liberty are the first team to have won the Commissioner Cup twice, also beating the Aces back in 2023. So I guess it's Liberty Aces and a Commissioner's Cup. It's going the Liberty's way so far, is what it's proven to be. Sabrina Ionescu scored 26. Dewey had 25 point, 11 rebound, double-double. And Jackie Young scored 31 points, with 25 of those points coming in the second half. So Jackie Young went from earlier in the season getting 2 back-to-back games with 0 points on the board, and then in this game she had 31. So it seems like she's getting her mojo back, but it wasn't enough to beat the Liberty. So congratulations, New York Liberty, this year's Commissioner's Cup winners.
It's all right. You win a Commissioner's Cup, but it's not the cup you want.
Yeah, but it's more money than the WNBA finals for them, which is crazy. But anyways, then we got New York. They beat Minnesota 99-86, denying Cheryl Reeves a WNBA wins record. Cheryl Reeves is tied with Mike Tybalt at 379 regular season wins. She will break his record this year, but this was her first chance to break it, and New York said not today. And then the following game, Minnesota lost, and Minnesota, then she didn't break it there. They did play today. I don't know what the scores is, so I don't know if she broke the record yet. But she, that is something cool that she's on the precipice of. If she didn't break it today, I don't know what the score was today. I didn't check the WNBA scores today. They were playing earlier.
They won, so she broke it.
So she broke it. Congratulations, Cheryl Reeve.
Yeah, I was like, the way it sounds is like, yep, she'll never beat it. There's not another game she's going to coach after that.
It's not a game. That was it. And then in that game, Brianna Stewart scored 36 points, with Jonquel Jones having her 14 point, 15 rebound, double-double. So her double-doubles, as I've said before, when she gets a double-double, the Liberty win. But it's turning out not to be completely the case this year, and we'll get into that here. But the Dallas Wings beat the New York Liberty 88-77. Jess Shepard had her third triple-double of the season, fourth in her career overall, with 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. This is the updated list of all-time triple-doubles. We have Alyssa Thomas with 19.
And counting.
Sabrina Ionescu with 4, Jess Shepard with 4, Caitlin Clark with 3, Candace Parker with 3, Jackie Young with 2, Courtney Williams with 2, and Chelsea Gray with 2. The fact that everyone else's triple doubles combined equals 20 and Alyssa Thomas has 19 on her own is ridiculous.
She's a triple double queen.
But I don't think
there hasn't been more triple doubles.
Yeah,
like with multiple. That's the one thing that stands out to me. Is I figured there'd be more, but whatever. That's still a crazy that Alyssa is that far
ahead, and she's gonna be that far ahead for a while.
She's gonna end with about tree fitty.
In that game, Brianna Stewart, she scored 29 points, and as I said, the JJ double rule didn't work because she had 17 points, 12 rebounds, and New York did what they've done a lot this year, which is get a big lead and then watch it diminish. And then they either fight back and they win at the very end of the fourth quarter, or they lose the game. And that's pretty much been the inconsistencies that we've seen with New York this year. They can't really close out games, which is one strength that they did have in the past last year under Sandy Brondello. I don't think it's a coaching reason. I think it is an injury reason. We've had a lot of injuries on the New York Liberty. They haven't had their full roster this entire season yet. They've had 10 different starting fives throughout the year so far, which I don't know if it's the highest of everyone, but that's pretty fucking high. Like
10's high for any team. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like 10 different starting lineups in a sport where you start 5 people.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, and that's because like Sab has been out, she's back. Sachi Sabli's been dealing with concussions. We right now like Leona Phoebish was out, so then Rebecca Gardner got her first start in this game. So yeah, it's it's been like one person comes back and another person's injured kind of situation for the New York Liberty this year. So hopefully they do like the Aces, where it's just like it's not how you start the year, it's how you end it. And they're in like 4th or 5th place right now in the standing. Make it to the playoffs, then anything can happen. It's the New York.
Yeah, look at the Aces last year.
Yeah.
So, but shout out right now, because I know it's not in the notes, but I looked at the standings. Shout out to the Golden State Valkyries, who have won 6 in a row.
Yeah.
And they are in 3rd place right now.
Natalie DeCasa is so good as a coach.
Shout out to the Valkyries.
Under the Becky Hamlin coaching tree. In Dallas, they look so much better this year than they did last year. And obviously they have Paige and Enrique and AZ. But having someone like Jess Shepard on the team, a big who grew up playing point guard, but then had a growth spurt and then became a big, but she knows how to facilitate the ball. And so she's able to get these triple doubles. That's really important. She kind of like was the missing piece, it seems like. And like, you're always going to have your superstars, but you need your role players that are going to do things like Jess Shepard's doing. And so the fact that they have Jess Shepard here, that Dallas might be scary in the playoffs when playoffs do come by.
Only time will tell. But I don't know. Is Asia Wilson still going to be playing in the playoffs?
Yeah, although she's hurt right now, but
I'm aware. That's why. Is she going to be playing the playoffs?
Yeah, it's not playoff time yet. It's like All Stars. A break is at the end of this month, but yeah, I'm just seeing if Dallas keeps the momentum that they have here in the middle of the season, this is something that I wouldn't be surprised if it's their year.
Could be. Also, is it finally Minnesota's year? 3rd time's the charm? I know they didn't make it to the finals last year, but still. They've had a team like the past 2 years that are good enough to do it. And they're still in 1st place. So is Minnesota finally going to get over the hump?
And Nafisa Collar is still out.
Yeah, no.
Now,
is it going to be one of those things where, it's going to be one of those things where she'll come back and then ruin the mojo? You know how sometimes your star player comes back and your team doesn't play as well, or whatever. It's Nafisa Collier.
Every time she's been out and come back, she's never ruined the mojo. She is that team. Now, on other teams, that has been more prevalent, but we're not talking about her. And I'm going from that laughter to got some a little bit more sadder stuff, a little bit uncomfortable stuff, but something as you talk about all the time, like we don't want to talk about it, but it would be a disservice not to talk about it. So we're going to be talking about it. And that is after the racism and death threats Alyssa Thomas received, and the WNBA as an organization not really doing anything about it. They put out a statement, and then it wasn't really a very good statement, and then they didn't do anything else. Pretty much it's been Phoenix as an organization, and then like the Phoenix police basically doing things for Alyssa Thomas and her family, because it's not just like Alyssa Thomas, it's also her and DeWanna Bonner's children that are being affected by this. So the King Center, which is a global nonprofit established by Coretta Scott King after MLK's assassination, providing resources and training on nonviolent conflict resolution, put out a statement that multiple players liked and reposted, including Asia Wilson, Dejanay Carrington, Jewel Lloyd, DeWanna Bonner, Skylar Diggins, Kalia Copper, and Tiffany Hayes. And this is the statement that right here, going, Dear WNBA, bigoted, homophobic, and racist attacks on social media and otherwise are not outside noise or something that Black and LGBTQ players in your league should have to increase their mental toughness to endure. You can and should address the issue with intentionality, strategy, and courage. One thing is they don't just put out statements randomly, so that's just showing you like how bad it's getting for the King Center to put out a statement like this. So we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes because people aren't really speaking to it, but the fact that this statement has come out probably is showing you that it's very, very bad behind the scenes. So any thoughts on this on your end?
Quit being stupid assholes. I thought whatever. Yeah, quit being stupid assholes. Like, you just being behind your Twitter fingers is not doing anything. And I'm sorry that you weren't hugged enough as a child to want to sit there and attack someone that you don't even know and don't know what they're going through, and then going after their children or anything. If you actually are, then you need to reevaluate your life and your life's choices, because this is bullshit that we're here.
Well said. Well said. So please, WNBA, do something about it because, it's not okay.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how you attack or find out, people and who those random bots or whatever call them. I don't know what the kids are calling them these days, but the burner accounts, the bots, or whatever you want to talk about that are doing these things. Just go to a game, blurt it out. That way we at least know it. So we could take care of it at that point.
I mean, I would say don't do that, but I like your strategy where your head is at.
I don't want them to do it, but I want them to do it so it's easier to find out who they are.
Yeah. The one thing that we do know is like that they have like gotten their phone numbers and have sent stuff to their phone numbers, and that their address got leaked online as well. So it's something that the Phoenix PD has been
let the PD
very much involved.
People. Also, too, when they leak the addresses of these people, let the police department and the right authorities handle it. Don't take matters in your own hands, because that will also have the PD going after you. Even though we understand, but don't be throwing bricks through people's windows if it's definitely for the wrong address.
Yeah. So
I'm not defending these people. I'm just saying there's a certain point that you can help find these people, but then give it over to the authorities and let the justice
and the powers that be. Yeah.
Yes, the powers that be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It is incredibly sad, and it's one of those things like this league has been like it wouldn't exist without the Black women that have played in this league. And so to kind of see the hatred that has been growing with the more eyeballs, which more eyeballs on the league is a great thing, but this is also one of the negative aspects of more eyeballs on the league.
More money, more problems.
Yep. Now, ready to go into some other drama, but more fun, less sad drama.
Skylar Diggins.
Skylar Diggins versus
Really?
Chicago Sky.
She's never been involved in any drama.
Never. And Chicago Sky, great organization, right? Oh, we've said it before. Say it again today. Chicago Sky, worst organization in the WNBA. They thought they had issues with Angel Reese talking her mind. And then they went and signed Skylar Diggins. I didn't know what... If you don't want players who are going to speak their minds no matter what, good, bad, the ugly, you don't sign Skylar Diggins.
Don't sign Skylar Diggins. She will speak her mind and then flip you off when you tell her why or ask her why.
Yeah. And she's also like one of the older players now that like she's gotten to an age where she really has no filter and doesn't give a fuck. But leading up to Chicago's game Tuesday against the Phoenix Mercury, veteran guard Skylar Diggins was informed she would be removed from the starting lineup. She responded by posting on her Instagram story Monday morning, "Now I'm coming off the bench. Cool." Diggins also told reporters, I've been sacrificing my body for this team. Maybe it's time to take a step back to see if I need to continue to make those sacrifices without having the proper resources to play at an elite level. I was thinking we were going to be in practice facilities and other things that were told to me, and that's not been the case. It's hard to perform at a certain level without those resources. She goes on to say, we're not having everything that we need to be successful. I've been elite for decades, and it's not just from showing up. We fight so hard in our CBA to have access to cold tub, hot tub, sauna, steam room, a chiropractor, a puncturist, massage therapist, IVs, and things like that. From her comments, the Chicago Sky suspended her for half a game on July 7th against the Phoenix Mercury for statements detrimental to the team. The same suspension and reasoning Angel Reese got last year, which we both said suspend the whole game. If you're gonna suspend something, half a game is kind of fucking stupid. But thoughts on Chicago Sky versus Skylar Diggins now?
It's Chicago. This kind of reminds me of like the scene from Moneyball where he goes to make the trade. He was like soda, so it's just like massage tables. I need you to just like do something. Like, come on, if you're gonna do an organist, like it's like watching that like major, like you watch those sports movies with the lower tier teams and that just don't have the right facilities or things that other teams have. I mean, look at the Bengals. Like they're known for being cheap, so like their practice field still god awful. I mean, and they're just facilities. They're still NFL facilities, but compared to like other teams, and it's kind of like the same thing with Chicago. It's like she is an older player, so it takes a little bit more to get her to be ready to recover for a game. As LeBron like I love LeBron this past year where he was on that Bob Does Sports playing golf with them, and he said, "When do you feel 41?" He said, "When I wake up." He said, I'll go to sleep available, wake up doubtful." Right? So he's got it with routine and stuff. So do you think LeBron can suit up and get ready for a game to be LeBron if he didn't have what Skylar's asking for? No. Like she's not asking for anything that other teams don't already have. Yeah. Now, if they don't, okay, what are we doing here? Because I know we've all watched enough documentaries of other athletes getting ready from a week-to-week basis to get ready for games, and all the chiropractic and massages, just all the training stuff that they do just to keep their body to its best it can be, especially throughout a season. And the fact that you're just like put ice on it, it'll be fine. That ain't how it works. We've watched too much. We know too much information about the goings on behind the scenes to get these players ready. And to sit there and suspend her because she's saying, "Hey, I don't have what I need," and your only response is to suspend her and not saying we have this, she's just not accessing it. That's a big red flag.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that like you've seen so many stars leave Chicago, and it is because when they compare what, like you look at the facility that Phoenix made, you look at other facilities, Seattle's new facility, each team is basically having to make their own facilities to be competitive in getting players to come to their market. Now, I know that Chicago has in the works that they are going to have their own facility, but that's not happening for a while. Like they still have to build that and everything. So that's going to take some time. But if she was promised that these things were going to exist, even if like they don't have the proper facility yet for it, like then they should exist. And I could understand too her. I just find it hilarious that she put to her Instagram like, coming off the bench, cool. Like that's also probably part of the reason why she got suspended is because she popped off on her Instagram stories, upset about not being a starter anymore. But it's Skylar Diggins.
Yeah, it's Skylar Diggins.
Now, some other drama, and this gotta be personality because it's not skill. And we've talked about her before. Kennedy Carter was waived by the Las Vegas Aces.
That's what we kind of said before. It's got to be locker room, team chemistry issues.
So there must be something going on behind the scenes because she was a favorite for 6th Player of the Year. with the way that she was playing. And right now, she doesn't have any team. So from Michael Volpel at ESPN, Carter 27 played all 8 Aces games in May, but just 4 of the team's 12 games in June, including the Commissioner's Cup Championship game June 30th, which doesn't count in the standings. Carter was listed as having a left leg injury and then an unspecified illness during her missed games. Carter was the number 4 pick by Atlanta Dream in the 2020 draft out of Texas A&M, but has had a WNBA career marked by injuries, suspensions, and short tenures with team. Carter dealt with an injury as a rookie and played 16 of the Dream's 22 games in the shortened COVID-19 bubble season, averaging 17.4 points. In 2021, she was limited to 11 games because of disciplinary measures with the Dream, who suspended her in July that year. She was traded in 2022 to the Los Angeles Sparks, playing 24 games and averaging 8.9 points. She was waived before the 2023 season and didn't play in the WNBA that year. Signed by the Chicago Sky in 2024, she had her best season, averaging 17.5 points and appearing in 33 games. She did not play in the WNBA in 2025, then was signed by the Aces in April this year, but after a strong start in May, the team has now parted ways with Carter. The Aces made another roster move Tuesday, signing 6'4" guard forward Justine Passat, a second-round draft pick by Indiana out of Vanderbilt in April. She was a developmental player with the Fever. And Trista, we love Trista for her reactions to things. And they were live when this news broke. So let's watch.
Shit, guys. Is this real?
What?
Hold on. I got to find out if this is real before I bring this up.
Real quick. Let me remove this real quick. I got. Sorry, I'm doing it live. I'm taking my book. I got to take my. I don't like my bookmarks being up. Sorry about that. We're going back.
Waived Kennedy Carter.
No.
Talk about somebody who's not in control of their emotions.
We just said that. I literally said last night, I was like, they're going to trade her. I said that on our pod yesterday. I said they're going to trade her. I know, but I really thought they would at least trade her.
What did you think they were trading her to? Oh my God.
Who wants that?
Yeah, where was she going?
That's the best organization culturally in the W. And if you don't fit in, baby girl, back to China you go.
Yeah, and this is all happening in real time, and I'm trying to read it. I don't know if Asia liked her. I don't know if she got along. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. And then and I know y'all feel there was something going on
after that whole sort of like Asia Kennedy threads. Remember that day that they kept going back and forth on threads, and Asia like told her to get offline.
Basically, that's what I'm referring to. Like we don't do that here. We don't do that here.
We don't do that here. And ever since then, her minutes and production have just.
Oh shit, guys!
Thoughts on Kennedy Carter?
It's at some point maybe just got to look in the mirror, reevaluate something at this point, because it ain't your play. They basically said it. Everything. It's like it's not your play, and that's the best, according to Trista, it's the best locker room culturally, and it is. I mean, we've watched enough videos on how Becky and Asia, like everyone knows. All right, this is Asia's team. Becky's the coach. Those two are, they go together like peanut butter and jelly as far as a coach and a player's and what you want with your star player and your coach. So they know that it starts with those two, and then everyone else will figure out their role and do it to the best of their ability to keep everything right. That's the Aces culture. If you go in there and say, all right, these are the things we're supposed to do, and you're not doing them, and no other team wants to handle whatever's going on, and no other team wants to do, that's what they were saying, like, who are you going to trade her to? Because no one else wants to have that, whatever that is.
Yeah. And what they were referring to on threads that day is Kennedy Carter said something about AZ FUD, like online, and then Asia's like, yeah, we don't do that here. Like, so it was so and it was all about gameplay and everything, but Kennedy does have, because she's good, she has that shit talking of like, I'm better than everyone else kind of thing. And it's just like, There's a point to it. Like, you could do that on the court, but don't do that off the court.
Your game has to be better than the headache.
Yeah.
And she's not like she's not good, as you were saying, as we've all seen. But your play's not better than the headache, is what we're saying.
Yeah, so, maybe she learns her lesson this time. We shall see.
I don't know
what happens. We'll see if anyone picks her up. But that is what I have for the WNBA.
All right.
You ready for Double TX?
Yeah. We're touring in France on bikes.
Le Tour.
Yeah, Le Tour. Starting up. Shout out to anyone not doing steroids and winning it. So good job for you all of not doping. Because, years ago, as Bill Burr said, our roided up guy beat your roided up guy. So not known for controversy. But yeah, bikes in France. It's a thing. Watch it.
You sound like when I was in AP European history in high school, and each of us had to talk about something from the reading and like we picked from a hat. And this guy got Mary Queen of Scots, and he did not do the reading. And he goes, Mary Queen of Scots was the Queen of Scots.
Yeah. I haven't watched a Tour de France coverage in years.
I only watched one day, and it was the day that the Mexican won, and it was I forget the name of the favorite. They're on the same UAE team, but it was the favorite was in second and kind of like let him win so that way he could have a win, because they're on the same team. And it was one of those like really heartfelt moments, and I saw the end there because my dad does watch the Tour de France. So I wake up in the morning and I walk into the living room, and Dad has the bikes on.
All the bikes.
And then midday to afternoon to night, we got the World Cup. Mm-hmm. So that's been the sports in my house.
Bikes and soccer.
Yes.
It's off season for sports guys. Talk about bikes.
Oh, we got some other stuff to talk about with the Olympics.
Yeah, so the IOC provisionally lifts suspension of the Russian Olympic Committee, taken directly from the IOC on the Olympic website. The International Olympic Committee Executive Board has provisionally lifted the suspension of the Russian Olympic Committee that had been in effect since October 12th, 2023. A decision was taken following a thorough analysis by the IOC's Legal Affairs Commission, considering that the ROC no longer includes as its members any regional supports organizations and territories falling under the jurisdiction of the National Olympic Committee of Ukraine. In addition, the ROC confirmed that it does not and will not conduct any activities in these territories. The ROC EB will continue to closely monitor the situation relating to any ROC activities in those territories and reserves the right to take any further measures if deemed necessary to address the lack of confidence in the global sporting community relating to the return of Russian athletes to international competition in view of the recent allegations regarding the Russian anti-doping agency governance, the impending confirmation that reinstatement conditions concerning the World Anti-Doping Code have been met. All Russian athletes returning to international competition must meet relevant anti-doping requirements, particularly those set out in the anti-doping rules of the IOC and international federations, as well as best practices established by the World Anti-Doping Agency. In particular, Russian athletes returning to international competition must be part of a national anti-doping program, including risk assessment, test distribution plan, and results management that is delegated to the International Testing Agency. All athletes newly returning to international competition must have been tested multiple times prior to their return based on a sports risk assessment. Considering the timeline of qualification events for the LA 28 Olympic Games and to ensure a fair opportunity for participation, the IFs are responsible for establishing the time frame during which such testing must have occurred prior to any athlete newly returning to international competition, or for those who have not already been included in a registered testing pool. IFs, as part of their anti-doping program, must agree on an overall testing program with the ITA, including the adequate number of tests needed and the time frame for testing. Should the RUSADA still be considered non-compliant by WAD? Get a lot of acronyms, people. Just roll with it. In 2028, prior to the LA 28 Olympic Games, the IOC will instruct the ITA to ensure that all qualified Russian athletes have been subject to independent testing following the same approach. IOC stance on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The IOC took a very clear stance against the invasion, strongly condemning it. The position remains unchanged. More broadly, the IOC condemns wars, armed conflicts, and violence that cause human suffering wherever they occur. At a time of growing instability and division around the world, the IOC remains committed to promoting peace throughout peace through sport among people and nations. IOC's views on athletes' participation in international competitions if their governments are involved in a war or conflict. The IOC recognizes that an athlete's participation in international competition should not be limited by the involvement of their government in a war or conflict. In this regard, in December 2025, in the view of the upcoming Dakar 2026 Youth Olympic Games, the Olympic Summit endorsed the IOC EB's decision that youth athletes with a Russian or Belarusian passport should no longer be restricted in their access to international youth competitions in both individual and team sports. They also lifted the ban on Belarusian athletes on May 7th, 2026. Other key facts of note: IOC will not organize IOC events in Russia or invite Russian government or state officials to its events. IOC will take a decision in relation to the display of the Russian flag, anthem, colors, or any identifications for the Olympic Games at the appropriate time. Yeah.
So they're back in part of, if you go through the timeline of Russia being banned. So the ROC, the Russian Olympic Committee, was banned after 2014 in Sochi, which Russia hosted the Winter Olympics in Sochi, and they got caught doping.
Yeah.
They doping
all the dope.
All the dope. And it was a big scheme of like trap doors to like pass the the whole 9 yards, because Russia wanted to win the medal count in there while they were hosting, and the government was willing to do anything to get that to be so, and they got caught bad. And the Olympics said, okay, ROC, you are banned. But Russian athletes were like, hey, that's not fair to us. And so they were allowed then to compete as I think they were called OARs, which is Olympic athletes from Russia, which
not
they
the band.
had. Yeah. And they had the white flag with the Olympic rings on it. And so they were able to compete, and any medals that they won were considered as individual achievements, but did not go to Russia's overall medal count. And then we also had some doping there in the women's figure skating that happened. So that's why OAR won the team event, but one of them was doping. So then they were disqualified, and the US went from silver to gold. And then you have the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and then that's where Russia completely, not just itself as a nation, but also its athletes got banned from competing. Now, we've said this before, you and I kind of have the stance that athletes are not their governments. Now, it is different if they are like part of have any part of the government or in their military or military service. That's a little bit different. But like for just regular everyday athletes who just happen to be from a certain country, that does not mean that they agree with everything that their government does. And so they shouldn't be penalized from their governments being assholes.
No. Nope.
So I'm kind of glad that these athletes will be back, but I hope that they follow the rules and don't be assholes.
Don't dope, guys. Don't dope.
Don't dope, and then also don't be assholes.
Yeah. But yes, I'm glad that they are basically on super secret probation, but you can still play. But we're right here. We're right here. Yeah, we're right here. We're right here, Russia. We're right here.
And I do like the fact that they are still not going to hold any events in Russia or invite any Russian officials to those events. And it'll be interesting to see if they go back to displaying the Russian flag or if they go back to the OAR part where it's they are still under the Olympic flag.
Only time will tell.
We shall see.
We'll
2026 is soon.
I mean, 2028.
2028. Sorry,
2026 is now.
So now?
It's pretty soon. It's so
it
now.
is pretty soon. 2028 is LA.
Oh, what was our one commenter that one time? We were like, what? I forget exactly what they said, but that was like a running joke that whole episode.
But what summer? Like obviously gymnastics. But I'm trying to think. What summer Olympic sports will they come right back into? Because they haven't been there for a while.
They'll compete in a lot of track and field, mainly like shot put, javelin, like those type of more or like just a big Russian muscular, just throwing shit. Like they'll probably be good at that. They'll probably put out a decent basketball team. Water polo.
True basketball.
Water polo will probably be something that they'll
definitely women's basketball too, because they really give a shit about women's basketball over there.
So basketball they'll probably be good at. I mean, obviously they're much more winter based type of country, which I just always hated it for that OV couldn't compete. That the ban was lifted before. After. Right after. But please let them play flag football. Please let them play flag football.
Oh my god, that would be great. Yes.
Yeah. No. Field hockey, if it is an Olympic sport. There you go.
And you know what? Baseball. They're gonna field a baseball team.
Yeah. They probably have a decent volleyball team because they probably got like a lot of tall dudes and gals over there.
And if you think about it, like Sochi is a coastal town off of the water, so when you think of the Winter Olympics, people are like, "Oh, there's the ocean,"
right?
And they were having like ice cream by the ocean at the Winter Olympics. Yeah. Those Olympics were crazy with everything that between the doping and the surveillance and the LGBTQ stuff and everything. That Olympic year was crazy.
Oh, and then like the facilities, and
the facility and the black mold,
and like they were half built, and then people were like, "There's a dog in my." Like just wandered in there.
And cardboard beds.
Yeah.
Oh, the memories. Great times.
Yeah.
Now, you ready? We have a little bit of good to speak of, but you're ready to go to kick.
I mean, let's just rip the Band-Aid off. But we did win one.
We did win one. So let's talk about the good a little bit. The USMNT beat Bosnia and Herzegovina 2-0. This game had a little bit of controversy. A little bit. Just mention. We'll go into further after the game recap. Balogun scores in the 45th minute after having a goal disallowed earlier in the game. And he did the LeBron celebration in both of them. And LeBron shouted him out on social media. He was like, yeah. Then Balogun got a red card in the 64th minute that we'll go into further in just a little bit, which I think was absolute bullshit. Balogun becomes the second person to score and get a red card in a single World Cup match since Zinedine Zidane. That one was a red card. I was so proud of the boys, the way they played after Bala was sent off. They rallied and they made it look as if they weren't even a man down. Then Tillman, your boy, scored an amazing free kick goal that we can't show you But you
Bloody-
should go look if you
Bloody
haven't.
sock and all.
Seen yet to make it 2-0 in the 82nd minute. We showed grit in this game. The USMNT of the past would have let the red card be the reason we lost. But the USMNT said not today, and I was really proud of them, and the performance really made me believe, and that's what made the result against Belgium even worse, which we will get to.
Mm-hmm.
But before Belgium, and before speaking about the controversy of the red card, thoughts on the game?
So I had to go back and rewatch because obviously me and Justin were live when the game was going on. So tomorrow night, obviously Ruckus Wrestling. If you're not watching the World Cup game, please join us over there as we talk about the wrestling. Still is going on. It's a weekly thing. It happens every week. We talk about it tomorrow night. Ruckus Wrestling, 8:00 Central, 9:00 Eastern. For what I saw, anytime you go down a man, especially this U.S. team, as far as history is concerned, you were like, oh no. But the fact that you still rallied down a man and still was able to defeat them and leave them blank was awesome. But I also had this weird thing in the back of my head that was it. Like, that was the most gritty, best game we're probably going to play. And we're probably on such a high that what happened with Belgium was a result of that. Now, obviously, other people could say bad vibes or whatever, but as soon as that happened, I was like, and I just saw it, I was like, man, you started to really believe. But the thing is I had this weird feeling that I was like,
so it's your fault.
sure, if you want to blame me, I don't care. Don't blame the other 11 guys on the field that laid an egg.
Oh, gotcha.
But I mean, at the end of the day, man, what a performance against Bosnia. It's a long story short.
Tim Ream, our old man at the back, had probably like the best game of the World Cup for him, and like we were just looking so good. It really was like we were running on all cylinders, and it was just like, okay, we're sad for Balogun, but we're going to rally for him. We're going to win against Belgium so that way he can come back against most likely Spain, which it is Spain now, and then we'll see what happens, because we beat Spain in the Confederation Cup and we broke their winning record, and this was the Spain that won the World Cup and won 2 Euros.
I remember that game's like back of my hand when we beat them.
Yeah, and we then played Brazil in the final, and we were actually winning in the first half of that final before we ended up losing to Brazil in the Confederation Cup. But like, so it was one of those, and then anything can happen. Who knows? But yeah, I think more of the stuff that came after the game really affected not just our team, but the Belgian team. Because, so let's get into it. All the pundits, everyone watching, basically saw the red card and said it was BS. Former referee Mark Clattenburg spoke after the game on Fox broadcast as the Fox Sports rules analyst. We can't show the video, but this is what he said. He went, when I watched it in real speed, I didn't think it was much. I thought it was just a coming together of two players, and what you do see is that Balogun's challenge does catch the opponent on the back of the leg, and then when it comes down, it catches the ankle, and that's when the twist of Bosnia and Herzegovina player's foot twists underneath him. The problem you got is to reach a criteria of the red card, there has to be some speed, there has to be some force, and there has to be some malice. This lacked that. But what it does have, which is what the element of VAR is hiding behind, is it endangers the safety of the opponent, because if that foot-on-foot challenge, which could have acted and ended with the broken ankle. So what they've done is they looked at the consequence of the challenge. However, in my opinion, this didn't endanger the safety of the opponent. Balogun doesn't even look for the foul. It's one of them where it happens in a split second. He puts his foot down and catches the opponent. It was an accidental challenge, and for me, this didn't reach the criteria for a red card, and it shouldn't have been a VAR intervention. Then Andy Davis, a former referee, and both of these former referees, not American, so they're not having U.S. bias here. At ESPN wrote, VAR made the recommendation to the referee based on slow motion and still replays, which is not aligned with VAR protocols, as these should be used for only point of contact purposes in a red card tackle situation. Once at the screen, however, it would have been a surprise if the referee did not send off Balogun, considering the pictures he was being presented by VAR. We then Dunkin' Donuts and Dirk Nowitzki, who we saw him speak out against the Germany game, had a few things to say. The dictionary had a few things to say. So Dunkin' Donuts, free Balogun. Dirk, that was not a red. The Merriam-Webster dictionary, that was not the definition of a red card. And then when the suspension happened, Merriam-Webster then retweeted themselves and said, "Told you." So the dictionary is really into soccer, apparently. But Dirk, this tournament pissed him off twice.
You don't piss off Dirk, guys.
First Germany, now the US. But then FIFA suspended the suspension, which is such a funny way to describe it.
I had to reread that like 4 times. I'm like, suspended this. What do we just say? Yep. Just say overturned. It's easier. That's a easier word than say suspension of the suspension.
But they suspended the suspension, which did include a phone call from Donald Trump. That later Gianni Infantino put out a statement saying Trump's phone call had nothing to do with the final decision. But I don't trust Gianni or FIFA and how they've shown their hands for outcomes that they won this World Cup, which we will get into when it comes to Argentina. But yeah, we obviously will never know what was actually said in that phone call.
No one else was in the room where it happened.
But it definitely, we went from being tournament darlings and the world not only going, oh shit, the US is playing really well and we're really enjoying their country. They've been great host, to enemy number one going, this is ruining the sanctity of the sport, and how dare their which low-key, I mean, they're kind of right, and how dare their government try to get involved with this, which then now is every government going to try to call Gianni Infantino to overturn things. And so, yeah, it just the precedent that was made is not a great one. Besides the corruption of it all, I kind of do agree with Stu Holden here. And so this was him landing right after he got off the plane in Seattle.
Breaking news, Flo Balogun is back. I just landed in Seattle. The entire plane, the entire airport was talking about this, and FIFA and U.S. Soccer both confirming. FIFA confirming that they have used Article 27, which allows them to suspend the implementation of the suspension for up to a year. Balogun's on a probationary period. What I will say here is, for this to come 24 hours before the game is unprecedented, never happened before. The suspension of implementation has happened before with Cristiano Ronaldo. This is amazing news for Flo Balogun and for U.S. men's national team. And quite frankly, it's the right outcome. It's the wrong process, of course. This should have happened straight away. There's never a red card in the game. If you played the game, you know this. These were two players coming together. The VAR used the wrong implementation to slow it down, looked at freeze frames. A card was not issued on the play initially by the referee. First time FIFA's ever had a VAR review for like that for a serious foul play where nothing had happened previously. So the right outcome, Flo Balogun is available tomorrow night for the United States against Belgium, round of 16. Huge game. Let's go, baby.
Now, as he was saying, that is not the first time FIFA has used this rule, most notably with Cristiano Ronaldo, who was to serve a 3-game suspension that FIFA then suspended so he could play the group stage at the World Cup. And this is kind of the list of the people where this rule has applied to before, where they've suspended the suspension. But Ronaldo, he served one of those games already before the World Cup and got the other 2 suspensions suspended for a year. Now, will he have to eventually serve those? And will Ballo have to eventually serve his 1-game suspension? We shall see. To me, this is kind of a multiple truths situation. Did FIFA incorrectly give, or did the refs basically incorrectly give Balogun a red card by not following their own protocols? Yes. Did FIFA then corruptly suspend Ballo's red card? Yes. Is Ballo to blame for any of this? No. Did it ruin the good vibes and give Belgium bulletin board material to then mollywop our ass? Yes. Does that man ruin everything he touched? Yes, but that's besides the point in this. So, Josh, your thoughts on all of this and the world hating us for this?
It's not probably the first time that a government's gotten involved with the decision. We just haven't heard about it. Hadn't been global. I remember when who was the guy that bit people? Played for Inter Miami.
Luis Suarez.
Yeah,
he got in trouble for that though.
Yeah, and then I remember the Uruguay president came out was saying this is bullcrap. I'm going to release an investigation, all that. So it's not the first time a government's gotten involved.
Yes, but the difference there is like FIFA never took them seriously. Like a bunch of other government can say, oh, we don't like what happened. We're going to put an investigation. We're going to write to FIFA saying how wronged we were. And FIFA goes, haha, and doesn't do anything about it. So like there's a difference to a government saying we're going to do something to fix this wrong and then FIFA not responding to them, and a government saying we're going to fix this wrong, and FIFA is like, you know what, you're right, let me get involved.
They fixed it wrong.
Yeah, but it sets a really bad precedent, and it basically we are now technically not following. The rules have been made to.
But it was right in the wrong that should have been done before, correct?
In a way, yes.
If the VAR wasn't set up for that reason, it wasn't even a red card or a yellow card on the field.
But one thing with it is that because they aren't like, if FIFA were to come out and say, hey, the referees made a mistake, it'd be different. But FIFA's coming out and saying the referees did everything correctly. However, we are going to suspend the suspension. We're going to suspend the red card. So they're basically saying, actually, that red card on the field was correct and the referees did nothing wrong, but we as an organization want to see him play, so we're going to allow him to play. Which that, if you are using that as the framework, that's really bad look. It's a really bad look, and that looks really bad on FIFA. That looks really bad on the United States, and it really is just, it comes off as as messing the sanctity of the sport.
I get it. I've seen governments get involved before, and also it's this whole the red card thing. I'm just looking at it from a 40,000 point view, and Ronaldo, like the suspension of the suspension of the suspension, which it's still fix your grammar on that, please. On that, I don't understand it, but yeah, no, you can tell the vibe switched. For sure.
Yeah, and who can say if Trump never gets involved, if FIFA never suspends the suspension, and Ballo sits out, the U.S. is like, we were wronged. We have to win this game for Ballo. Like, who knows how we would have played against against Belgium. What ended up happening is we get him back, which should have been momentum. Hey, our best forward is now back on the team, our best striker. But Belgium is just like, oh, we were wronged. And Belgium then had the bulletin board material. So it really fucked us over in the end. It's so yeah. So getting to the U.S. versus Belgium,
I'm just trying to keep us from not talking about how much of an egg we laid. So
this will hurt. I honestly believed that we could beat Belgium, and then we would probably lose to Spain in the next round.
probably.
And that would have been a successful World Cup for me. Right now, it doesn't. It's so funny that like the beginning of this World Cup, if you would have said, "Hey, we're gonna have the group stage where we had, but we're gonna lose in the round of 16 like we always do, but we're gonna put up a good fight," I would have been like, you know what? Still a successful World Cup for us. It's not a successful World Cup for us anymore because it's not just that we lost, it's the way that we lost.
Yeah.
And that is what's so upsetting, especially after showing so much grit and heart and the nation as a whole getting behind them. The viewership numbers, for some people, that game against Belgium was the first time they watched the U.S. play. Or maybe first time they watched the U.S. play in a long time. And we laid off fat goose egg. All 4 of Belgium's goals were off of mistakes, and Belgium capitalized. And one thing about this game too, it's not that Belgium played well, it's that we played like ass. And it's not that Belgium played bad either. Belgium was okay. It's just we were so bad that we made them look good.
It just looked like we rolled the ball out there and thought we were just going to win walking on the field.
Yeah. Belgium was the better team on the day, but they aren't that much better than us. They were beatable and we fucked up. We had a minute of joy in this game. 1 minute, 61 seconds to be exact.
He's earned his stars. That's a big positive coming out of this. Is that dude right there?
When Malik scores his second goal of the World Cup on a free kick, just like he did against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I was like, "Let's go! We got this tie ball game." And then also, people jokingly call like Wes's dad, who's Airborne 69 on Twitter, is his handle. And he's a former military man, and people are like, "Oh, this is the GOAT of the USMNT parents." I would like to put up that I think it's Anja. I'm not fully 100% sure how you pronounce her first name, but Mrs. Tillman, Malik and Tim Tillman's mother, she's my USMNT GOAT parent. She I love following her. Sometimes her stuff's in English, sometimes her stuff's in German, because she is a German woman. Mm-hmm. But she was at the game with her son Tim, watching her other son score that goal. So there's a video of them celebrating the goal. And I was like, such good vibes for 61 seconds. But then a minute after that goal, Belgium scored. And it kind of took the wind out of our sails, but we weren't completely out of it yet. We go to halftime, we do the halftime sub because Dest was not playing well. And that's one of the things, like Dest can be so good, and then he played so bad. And it's like, it's not just him, multiple players played bad, but it's like we had to get him off. And Gio came in, and we actually were controlling the ball in the midfield a little bit. We were actually doing okay for a little bit. And then Freeze. Oh, Freeze. And I know what happened for him is that he saw the person he was going to kick the ball to down the field. And then a Belgian player got in the line of sight and he second guessed himself. And you just can't second guess yourself like that.
No.
And then Tim Ream, old man, that ball was going so slow that Tim, if he had a little bit of get up and go, if he was a little bit of a younger man, he might have gotten to that ball, but he didn't. And so that ball went in, and you can see that goal was the moment that it ended completely for the U.S. men's national team. Um, I miss when we had good goalkeepers. I miss it. Our goalkeepers used to be our most solid position, and it's not anymore, and that sucks.
Tim Power, dog.
But hopefully, Gaga Slonina, who chose us over Poland, where his parents are from, he was born and raised in Chicago, and Diego Cochin, who is with Barcelona Beasts, like, maybe they can be our future. And maybe we'll get back to being goalkeeping greats. That is my hope for the U.S. Guys, I know your kids all want to score goals. Have one of them train in goal. Please, we need some goalkeepers. A lot of people, and I just did too, have brought up Tim Ream and why he's on our roster. He did have a mistake and looked his age in this game. But here's a few things. One, he played great against Bosnia and Herzegovina, and he actually has had a pretty good tournament until this game, which can be the case for a lot of players on our team. Him and Chris Richards are our best center backs in the pool, and we had 4 years for someone else to take his spot. It was for the taking. We all knew after 2022, we're like, oh, this is Tim Ream's only chance. And he himself even said it. This is my only chance to go to a World Cup. I'm going to be too old for the next World Cup. This is my only chance. He got to the 2022 World Cup. And those 4 years, someone else was supposed to take his spot. But no one was good enough to knock him off his spot, even with him declining. Mm-hmm. He came back to MLS. He was declining. He was not playing as well as he used to because Father Time catches up to all of us. And yet he was still better than everyone else other than Chris Richards, who is his tag team partner there in the back line. And so, of course, he was coming to the 2026 World Cup. Like, there's no way not to have him on the roster. And we knew by having him on the roster that probably meant we weren't going to go far.
Yeah, because this was the quickest turnaround, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
As we talked with Skylar Ding, and she's getting older. She needs the stuff for recovery time. Yeah.
This is the quickest turnaround between game and game. And yeah, so that's just kind of where I was looking at this game as well. Is that this is the quickest from the Bosnia game, which we outgritted, outplayed, did everything, 10 men down, great. Such a small turnaround could have affected it as well. I don't think it was 4-1 bad as far as time. But.
In that turnaround, I will give it for affecting Tim Ream.
Yeah.
I will not give it for anyone else. That excuse cannot go to anyone else. They are all in their mid-20s or younger.
Yeah.
So...
Ream, that's basically what I was bringing it up. It's just because of Ream. Long story. I know I'm saying long story short like 4 times this episode.
Ream is your age.
Ream is my age. Okay, I wake up doubtful some days. Okay, as LeBron says. So.
And you end the day doubtful too.
Yeah. I don't train like Tim Ream.
No. So just like we need to get better goalkeepers, we also need more center backs. Again, I know being a defender is not as sexy as being a forward or a midfielder, but like kids, if you want to be on the U.S. men's national team, get in the back line. Because we are weak at defense now, which is like so weird to like, we used defense was where we were good. Our forwards, not so much, but it was like defenders. And like, granted, we did have Brian McBride and we did have Donovan and we did have Clint Dempsey, but like they weren't nines. They weren't strikers.
Josie Altidore is about the closest that I can remember.
Like Brian McBride was a striker, but like we had Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey playing as strikers when that's not their natural position because we had no one else.
Yeah. Brian McBride was the 0-2 team, right?
Yeah. So it is where he is a natural striker. Our midfield is the best section of the field for us. And other teams just how the Netherlands figured out how to take our midfield out of the game, and then we had nothing for them in that round of 16. In 2022, Belgium figured out how to take our midfield out of the game. And when you see that happening, you have to go, this isn't working and you need to change your tactics. So I never understand when you try to beat a dead horse, it's not working, and you continue to try to do the same thing when you know it's not working. It's maybe it'll work this time.
And Poch has been really good at adjusting this whole tournament too. When we went down to when we went to 10 guys, he still adjusted. And
him putting Gio on the field was an adjustment, but in that first half, it's not working. Try something else. And then that third goal just killed the momentum for everyone, and we all just went down. It was a killer. My favorite, Rebecca Lowe, and then Brendan Hunt too. This was them after the game.
It was for Bellingham being reinstated, especially at first. Once Trump got his mitts on it was no, don't do that. Don't make it about that. Because the U.S. national team has been able to live in its own little bubble, this little Trumpless bubble where people can think of the U.S. as just this without thinking of that. And then he just punctured that membrane and then changed it from being the U.S. team being able to play with the energy of the aggrieved, which of course is an energy coaches try to get their team to play with all the time. They doubt us, et cetera, and gave Belgium the ability to play with the anger and fury of the aggrieved. And that didn't help us.
That's, I think, what lost you the game. And I know football's mad in that you can have a great game followed by a rubbish game. This team was different. How we've seen this team in the first 4 games was a new team, really. We hadn't seen this USA team before this World Cup look like that, okay? You don't, in my opinion, then go back to worse than you were, way worse than you were before the World Cup, unless something happens. It's not an excuse, by the way, and obviously it's not Flo Balogun's fault, and it's not Pochettino's fault, and it's none of those players' fault. But it was a complete and utter energy-sapping situation. In a weird way, you're getting back this really good player. It should be energy-filling and energy-raising, but it just sapped the energy from the first minute, Brendan.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say before we get to Captain America?
Malik Tillman is awesome.
Yeah.
You go on and talk about how Mr. Softy soft now. Freaking team foul. It's so disappointing.
Christian Pulisic is so disappointing.
Other than the Paraguay game. I know he got hurt or kicked or whatever, but
he's
11 times you got the ball taken off all that stat.
He's not beating the soft allegations.
Nope.
And it kind of got to the point, and maybe this is me reacting right after this loss, and maybe I'll be better a few weeks or months down the line. I really just don't want to see him in any commercials anymore. We lost it, and then the first commercial was one of his commercials after that, and I was like, turn this fucking TV off. He's not the face of the team to me. He's not Captain America to me. He doesn't deserve that moniker. The biggest game of his life, and he shits the bed. He might still be hurt, but he looked great and brought life to the team when he was subbed on for Tim Way in the Turkey game. And so something is up with him. When you see his post-game presser, he said he can rest now and he didn't look right. And I don't know if he's dealing with maybe depression or something else mental that has nothing to do with the physical injuries, but something just seems not right with him. And Both Carly Lloyd and Cindy LaRue, who are both World Cup winners with the U.S. Women's National Team, sent a response to Christian, but now I get time to rest, which was his post-game comments. Carly Lloyd said, "You rest when your playing career is over, period." Sid LaRue said he rested the entire World Cup.
Other than that first half against Paraguay.
This one, we have this video, and I don't know if I never want to see him again in the red, white, and blue. I probably, he is our best player, so, you will probably need to see him again in the red, white, and blue. But my feelings are not currently right now, a few days after that match, are not that dissimilar to the women in this video. Let's watch.
It takes a lot for me to finally give up on a player, and sort of just be done with them. Because at the end of the day, it's just sports. And I don't want to pile on to somebody just for not being able to do the job of being an athlete to my liking, right? That doesn't mean that I'm going to highly rate them. I'll be honest, but to really give up on rooting for them, to just be disinterested. But I'm fully there with Christian Pulisic. In fact, we don't even need to have a serious conversation about it. After one of the more embarrassing United States soccer losses that I've ever watched, Christian Pulisic, who spent a lot of the tournament not playing, said, "Now I get time to rest, so it'll be okay." And no, this is not leaving a lot out. He really did not say much more than that. I'm perfectly fine if we never see Christian Pulisic in a Team USA jersey ever again. You know what? Godspeed, buddy. Good luck in your club career. Because this is the Team USA player that embodies exactly what we have always hoped for from Christian Pulisic, that he never delivered. This is what Balogun posted to social media on Tuesday night. "It hurts to wait 4 years to compete at the highest level our sport has to offer. I want to say sorry to our fans. It was not good enough when it mattered most, and we let you down. Soccer in America will only become bigger. The belief, the talent, and the passion is continually growing, and I know the best days are in front of us. The future belongs to those who never stop believing. This moment will fuel us. We will be back. Why not us? For the nation, for the flag." Oh my God. First of all, absolutely, this man has absolutely nothing to apologize for. Outside of Tim Howard, I have never felt this honored and proud to have a player playing for this team than I have with Balogun. He was put in the center of a FIFA and Trump scandal that he had nothing to do with. He never did anything wrong. All he did was react incredibly maturely in the face of his red card, the suspension, and then the suspension of the red card suspension. He handled everything brilliantly. In fact, after the game, after all was said and done, with all of the hullabaloo from fans and from the Belgian team themselves, he went up to Rudy Garcia, the coach of Belgium. Garcia said, "He came to talk to me. I really liked that. It's not his fault. He's not the one to blame." And that's what I told him. I really appreciate the intention that he came to see me. I appreciate this player. Balogun is the talent and the passion and the leader and the player that we have all been waiting for. He has all of the talent of any player that has ever put that uniform on. And he has the integrity and the leadership and the fucking heart. He actually really cares. As big of a disappointment as Christian Pulisic has been, that is how inspiring and exciting and surprising and lovely it has been to have Balogun play for Team USA. And I am so grateful that it seems like he wants to continue playing for Team USA. And I really hope that we have, as a fandom, made him feel like we are so grateful for him and that we know and understand exactly the situation he was put in. And we see the grace and the integrity that he operated in that space with. I love him so much. And if he is the future of Team USA men's soccer, maybe, just maybe, 2030 will look a little bit different. Believe it or not.
All right. As a person who mispronounces names and also mispronounced Balogun's name, the first saying Balogun the whole daggone time while she was making the correct statement just threw me off.
I think that's actually, I saw some Nigerians say that that's actually the correct pronunciation of the last name.
Okay.
But
also, I've heard everyone say Ballo. Just
yeah, the American and the English pronunciation of his last name is Balogun, and that's all what I've always heard. But I think the Nigerian, she's actually pronouncing it the Nigerian way.
Gotcha. Anyway, I mean, this tournament has been the oh crap, we've got to do, and that was the emergence of Balogun.
Balogun and Malik.
And well, I'm talking about Malik. All right, his jersey's his jersey's in the mail. Like that's no doubt about it. Like I was.
Did
so
you get
happy
the stars one or the
I
stripy one?
I might get both now. Okay, after that performance that Malik did,
Because the stars one was bad luck. We lost to Turkey and to Belgium in that one.
I'm still gonna get both of them. Okay,
Both of them.
Both of them. All right, because Malik, I was so happy. That was like the one bright. I know we're gonna get into the good stuff as far as like this tournament itself. It just stinks that it ended the way that it did, to leave that such a terrible taste in our mouth. But yeah, going into the tournament, I was like, there's something about Malik that I like. Of all the other players, there's something, and then he showed out, and then obviously Ballo and what his emergence. That he's just. I'm sorry, we were already questioning Christian's attitude going into this tournament, and he didn't make me not say the same thing. He didn't change my opinion. There we go. My brain finally got there, but that's what I meant to say. He didn't. His performance did not change my opinion. One half and then saying you got kicked. He might have been injured, but the best player on your team should be able to fight through that injury and still perform a lot better than he did.
It's one of those where, like, after the first game, after against Paraguay, like, my opinions were kind of changed there, and then I saw that he was hurt, and I was like, okay. And so I understood not playing against Australia, even if he was available, which he wasn't. Because Australia is a very, like, they will kick you. Like, when they're losing, they're like, okay, we're going to play dirty kind of thing. And they did in that second half. And I was there. I was there in Seattle watching that game. And then he comes, and then Turkey was like, okay, we're, like, resting pretty much all of our starters here. And Tim Weah played a stinker, and then he came in and he actually brought in some momentum. So I was like, okay, you know what? Like, maybe he is going to show up. And he doesn't get a goal this tournament already. And I was just like, we're in a tournament on home soil. Like, in Claire in the Scuffed Girlies was just like, Christian Pulisic has to score. Like, he just has to. Like, it's a World Cup on U.S. soil. He's going to score. I just feel it. I feel it. Like, we can't end this tournament without a Puli goal. And we did. Because it's just like, I don't know what it is that he can go from playing great, especially like when we play teams like Mexico, where like he shows up, or like England. Against our rivals, he fucking shows up because he cares about beating Mexico. He cares about playing well against England. But then I don't want to say that he doesn't care, but it's just like a different type of attitude. And maybe it is that he was still hurt, and so like when you do play hurt, like you're different. But maybe it's the reason why, like, I've been enjoying hockey a little bit more now, because like those players really, like, we've seen what they played through.
Just hamstring. What's wrong with it? It's not existent. That's what's wrong.
Marie-Philippe Poulain played an entire postseason with an ACL and torn meniscus.
Yeah. Hockey players are different.
So like, it's just like, oh, and I know we've talked about this too when LA Galaxy won the MLS Cup and Ricky Puig like tore his ACL in that game and still continued to play the rest of the game, and then he was out for the final because of his torn ACL. But like, he was playing that game on a torn ACL, and we're like, there's a point between like, oh, we want the players to like be safe and not play hurt, but then there's also like the admiration and the like, they fucking played on a torn ACL. Look at the heart and so like, I know it's like there's the two wolves inside that is just like, players should be safe and not have to play hurt. And look at how this player cares so much that they're playing until they physically can't anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't know. it's a home World Cup. This
Right.
will never happen in his lifetime again. Like, well, not exactly, but this will never happen for him to be able to play in one again in his lifetime. Right. And this is one of those where, like, I don't care how fucking hurt I am. I don't care. Like, I'm going to continue playing until the wheels fall off.
Right.
And so that's why I say, like, I feel like on top of the physical injuries, there has to be something else going on too, because I just think his mental is not there.
Yeah, because this Poch system was set up the way Poch runs, that's such aggressive offensive thing. You think Pulisic would really thrive in it, and he did for a half.
Mm-hmm. Ready to talk some positives?
Yeah, talk positives.
Okay, and on a positive note, before we get to the other games, got some slides here. A World Cup to remember. Before the Belgium game, the vibes were good, and I know that after some time, the disappointment of Belgium will die down a little. And this was a really good World Cup.
Yeah,
I had the experience of a lifetime going to watch them in Seattle, and to really see the soccer casuals get into it the way that they did. Like, I feel like we've made some lifelong fans, and we've inspired some kids that weren't choosing soccer before this World Cup. So I do want to say that it sucks to go out the way that we did. It was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But there is good. Some good stats. We scored 11 goals this World Cup. The most that we've ever scored at a single World Cup. We won 3 games, the most USMNT wins in a single World Cup, making Pochettino the winningest USMNT manager at a single World Cup, because we've had a few managers have coached multiple, like Bruce Arena. We earned our second knockout win in the USMNT World Cup history. Our last knockout win was in 2002 against Mexico. I was 8 years old.
Yeah, we're not too old. I was.
And then we won our group.
Yeah.
So there's some good stuff that happened this World Cup. And it's just like, it sucks with the recency bias that, like, the last thing they do on the field is really what, like, sticks with you.
Yeah.
But this has been more good than bad.
Yeah. I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. As far as the ride, I wish the ride just kept going.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Belgium is our kryptonite. I don't know what it is about that team, but every time we go up against Belgium, we just struggle to even tie them.
Hey, but the Belgium in 2014 was better than the Belgium this
year. If
year.
we're going to get Belgium, it would have been this year.
And, oh man, if we could pluck Tim Howard and that 16 saves and put him in this game, I think we would have won. Yeah. So, maybe, because everyone else was kind of playing like shit too. So, you know what? We might have still fucking lost. Who knows? Okay. The rest of the round of 32 that's happened since we last went live. Mexico beat Ecuador 2-0 at the Azteca. For this game, people were saying if any team can deal with the altitude of Mexico City, it would be Ecuador. But Mexico put belt to ass and made them look like fools. Mm-hmm. And both Julian Quiñones and Raúl Jiménez scored for Mexico. Then England beat DR Congo, or as Rebecca Lowe called it on the Fox broadcast, Dr. Congo, 2-1. Every time I saw DR Congo, I kept thinking between Dr. Congo and the Dominican Republic of Congo. Because because every time I see DR. The Congo looked like the better team, and England only won this game because of Harry Kane. Even though they did beat Mexico, which we will get to, England, it's not coming home. I don't think so. Belgium. Now watch, I say that, and they win the whole fucking thing.
Oh.
I don't want them to get a second star. That would be bad vibes.
Right.
Belgium beat Senegal 3-2 in a crazy game. Low-key, we should have been playing Senegal instead of Belgium. But Senegal was up 2-0 for 85 minutes of this game, and we're the better team for most of the game, but they relaxed a bit at the end, and Belgium took full advantage. Romelu Lukaku and Yuri Tillemans tie the game up 2-2 to take it to extra time, and then at the very end of the game, 120 plus 5th minute, Belgium gets fouled in the box, and Tillemans scores the winning goal on a penalty. It is the latest goal on record in the World Cup, and just thinking, not only did they look like ass against Senegal, they played 120 plus minutes.
Yeah.
They should have been way more tired than us. And yet, what happened.
Yep.
Spain beat Austria 3-0. I love Lamine Yamal's little brother.
Oh, dude, he's awesome.
Portugal beat Croatia 2-1. Ronaldo got subbed out in the second half of this game, and low-key Portugal played better when he's not on the field. But he was unhappy about that sub, and I think his ego is the reason why Portugal didn't win against Spain, but we'll get to that. This game had a lot of disallowed goals, and the most heartbreaking one was the one at the end of the game when Croatia thought that they tied the game. This was most likely the last time we'll ever get to see Luka Modric at a World Cup. He, like Messi, Ronaldo, and Memo Ochoa, have played at the World Cup since 2006. They all tie Marta and Christine Sinclair's record of playing in 6 World Cups, although Marta is going to break that record next year, playing in her 7th, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Side note, Messi has just broken the World Cup goal record that Marta has held for a little bit now, but she might go and break it again next year. And if Messi never plays again, Marta will be holding that record until Kylian Mbappe.
It's Kylian Mbappe's record. We're just waiting around the next 8 years for him to do it.
But it's been Marta's. And for a little bit, it's going to be Messi's. And then next year, it's going to be Marta's again. And then Marta's going to have it for a while until Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah. It's like, at the end of the day, it's Kylian Mbappe's record. We're just waiting around for it to happen.
Yeah. Switzerland beat Algeria 2-0. And Egypt beat Australia in penalties. And then the game of the tournament, which actually, let me put, because I don't have anything to say, Colombia beat Ghana 1-0. But then to the game of the tournament. Argentina, Cabo Verde. Argentina winning 3-2. Argentina may have won the game, but Cabo Verde, they won our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Cabo Verde came back twice to tie the game against the reigning World Cup winners. Everyone wouldn't have given Cabo Verde shit if they hunkered down and parked the bus and played for penalties, but they actually tried to win the game, and they played very well. Because it is fan voted, Messi won man of the match, but Thierry said that the whole Cabo Verde team should have won man of the match, and I agree with Thierry. But if you have to give it to an Argentinian, Lisandro Martinez was the hero for Argentina. Cabo Verde played with so much heart, and Vocinia was so good and was able to trade shirts with Messi, his idol, after the game, even though Vocinia is older than Messi. But he did say in an interview that Messi is his idol. The Argentinian fans gave Cabo Verde a standing ovation as they left the pitch. And this is Rebecca Lowe and Brendan Hunt again after the game.
Possibly the game of the tournament so far.
I think it was definitely the game of the tournament. And I think it was one of the great World Cup moments. And yes, they lost, right? It really doesn't feel like they lost.
It does not. The whole time, like we've seen this story before, like, you know, the plucky minnow gets their heart broken. And sure enough, 2 minutes into extra time. And it's like, oh, okay, it's over now.
But
no,
Brendan,
enter Sidney Lopez Cabral,
who will go, remember the name.
Yeah.
He will go down in history. He then scores not just an equalizer in the 103rd minute against the world champions. Oh no, an absolute cracker, a peach of a goal.
Just hypnotizing every Argentina player who watched it go by. After today, I don't think you can say it was lightning in a bottle. It is more than that.
I think it is. They have gone out of this World Cup without losing a game in 90 minutes. It's why we love this game. It's why we love the World Cup. I mean, the amount of messages I had from people who don't watch football, okay, but Messi was playing. When is Messi upstaged? Very, very rarely.
Yeah. Their story is what the World Cup is about.
Cabo Verde lose like that, and everyone are calling them the winners of the tournament. Yep. And they're a team that if you put them on paper next to the players of the U.S., they are far worse than we are.
Mm-hmm.
And they went out with respect to the reigning champs. And we played like we did against Belgium.
Yeah, it's disheartening.
Now to another one of your faves.
Yeah.
Thierry, this is his words after the game.
First, I'm going to have to go Portuguese on everybody now. Capo Verde, parabéns, obrigado. I mean, yeah, it's just, you know what? I actually don't care about what happened in the result and about right now. And I'm sure the Argentinian will think the same way because they didn't even celebrate. They're just happy to go through. The story is, was, and always will be Capo Verde. What I witnessed today is just like when you believe that you can, that's what can happen. Yes, I know they ended up losing the game, but they won our hearts. And I have to say that's just magical. Wow. Once again, obrigado, Capo Verde.
That comment, it's basically they said it was like the first Rocky movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the first Rocky movie. Like he went all, they went all 12 rounds with the GOAT.
Now, I will say that before this tournament, I did know where Cabo Verde was, but a lot of people in the United States did not know, including this man, where Cabo Verde was. And they now do.
It's a South African island, right?
It is off the coast of North Africa.
North Africa. Sorry. I knew it was an island off the coast. Okay.
Yes.
Someone told me it was South African. And I was like, I took the word for it.
Nope, that person lied.
Okay.
But I can't wait to see them again. And like, I really hope that they make it to the next World Cup. I don't feel like this is going to be the last that we're going to see.
4 years old and just out there being just, he doesn't have to run a lot, so he could still do it.
And Vecina, he's a free agent, so he doesn't have a job right now. And he literally was like coaching people volleyball, like in the summers. So like he might like get an actual starting position somewhere and be making bank. So we shall see. I think good things are coming for Cabo Verde. And you know what? I think that the women's team are in the mix and for qualifying for the Women's World Cup next year, and I would love to see the women too. So let's go, Cabo Verde.
Let's go.
Which side note, Sonia Citron of the Washington Mystics, she is Cabo Verdean of descent on her mom's side. A lot of people think, oh, this white girl, but she actually does have some African in her. She just is light skinned. But to the round of 16. The first nation to be kicked out of the tournament was Canada. When Morocco beat them 3-0 out of the tournament when it comes to the round of 16. Morocco did not look good in their first half with all their goals coming in the second half. Bono for Morocco is in goal is still very good. And fun fact, he's also Canadian. So he beat his other passport that day. Yasmin Bono was born in Montreal to Moroccan parents. And then when his father got fired from the University of Montreal, him and his family moved back to Morocco when he was 3 years old. And he had the opportunity to play for Canada, but ultimately chose Morocco. And then he beat Canada. And he denied Canada some good looks at goal. So
nice.
You know what, University of Montreal, if you would have never fired his father, he might have played for you guys. He would have grown up in Canada. Yep. France beat Paraguay 1-0 on penalty kick from Mbappe. This game was pure CONCACAF CONMEBOL if I've ever seen it. Paraguay was trying to kill Kylian Mbappe and every other French player on that team. It was real dirty. And I'm surprised that there weren't more cards, but France won in the end. So
that's one of those. That was one of the, like, it was like Australia against us. Like certain times when you can't out finesse them, so you just go and beat the crap out of them and hope they just, give them your best shot. So
yeah. Cape Verde sounds like some dinks. Okay, where it's at. Let's not shame people for not knowing something. Not shaming anyone. I was saying that a lot of people didn't know where it was, and now they do.
Yep. And knowing's half the battle.
Respect to Cabo Verde. Norway beat Brazil 2-1 thanks to Erling Haaland. Brazil is not the Brazil of old anymore.
No.
Erling Haaland is him, and
Yes.
Norway keeps their record of never losing to Brazil. Norway has never lost to Brazil.
The freaking both of his goals. The first one was very messy. Of just everyone just like if you just watch him, he just walking, and then he trots and then he jumps up and heads it. And then his second goal, where he just basically just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna turn and just kick it, and then he just struts afterwards. Yeah. It was just like the biggest like, yeah, I did that. I do that all the time. I don't care where it's at.
The Viking man on the field.
Yeah.
Then England, they beat Mexico 3-2 in a crazy match at the Azteca.
Mm-hmm.
Before this game, English media was being, in the kindest way I can say this, whiny little bitches.
What? England? Being whiny little bitches?
They were complaining about the altitude and saying it was unfair. It was unfair. Mexico is the host country. This is where the game is held. Play the fucking game. I will say none of the players complained. It was just their media, and they can go wank off. Jude Bellingham scores 2 goals in the 36th and 38th minute, making it 2-0 England. Then Julian Quinones scores in the 42nd. Then England get a red card in the 54th. Then England gets a penalty, and Harry Kane converts it. Then Mexico gets a penalty, and Raul Jimenez converts it. And then Mexico could have won this game. England was exhausted and looked like they had nothing left in them, but Mexico kept playing the horseshoe of death, which is here's the box, and they're just picking the ball around, and then let's put a cross in. England is taller than you guys. They're always going to head the ball away. Like, stop playing the horseshoe of death.
England's taller than the Mexico players?
Yeah, you would have thunk it. If they would have tried to get into the box centrally, then probably would have had more success because, like I said, England was exhausted. And if Mexico would have tied the game to send it to extra time, Mexico would have won because England had nothing left in them. But that's not what happened, and England found a way to win. So good job, England, I guess.
Just got to find a way.
Spain beat Portugal 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo stayed in the whole time, and Portugal is playing worse when he's on the field. So go Spain.
Yeah.
This is the one got a lot to say about. is Argentina beat Egypt 3-2 in a controversial match. We haven't really talked about the controversies that much, but there's been quite a few when it comes to Argentina this World Cup. Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, said he wanted to see Argentina in the final. Messi had a challenge in the group stage that could have been a red card, but didn't get anything. It was very similar to the Bello red card. Calls have been going Argentina's way. Against Cabo Verde, Messi took a free kick while Vicinha was still setting up his wall, and he still managed to save it. So Vicinha, GOAT.
Oh, dude, Vizzini's awesome.
After the Cabo Verde game, Infantino was interviewed, and he said, "I suffered with Argentina," but then later said, "No, but I'm a neutral." Sure. After each game, people talking about how FIFA is rigging the tournament for Messi and Argentina. This is one of those where it's like there's been controversies in multiple games, but when every single game that your country has played in, there's controversy afterwards. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
But to the game. Egypt scores in the 15th minute and then have a second goal that was disallowed due to a foul on the play all the way on the other side of the field, and people were saying that's pretty harsh to take the goal away from them. Then Egypt do get their second goal in the 67th minute, and they're up 2-0 on the reigning champs. Then Argentina scored 3 goals to win the game, one of them coming from Messi, with one of those goals having a foul very similar to what disallowed Egypt's goal. So if things were fair, the game should have ended 2-2 in regulation and gone to extra time. Late in the game, we see Hassam Hassan, coach for Egypt, cross his arms up in the air, which is a gesture for FIFA implementing for players, match officials, and staff to signal to the main ref that racist behavior has occurred. This is the signal. Once the referee acknowledges the gesture, a 3-step protocol is supposed to be set in motion at their discretion, beginning with a swift halt to the match. Should the abuse persist, the game will be suspended, and if it continues beyond that point, the match will ultimately be abandoned. However, rather than following the procedure, Hassan was showed a yellow card and play resumed. Reminder for everyone, after Argentina won Copa America in 2024, a video of the players came out, and we actually spoke about it here on Wrap It Up, of them singing an offensive, racist, and transphobic chant targeting French national team players of African descent, which we said when we spoke about it that on top of the racism, France wasn't even playing in the tournament, so they were singing about a team they didn't even have to defeat to win Copa America.
Yeah.
So the team and just Argentinians saying something racist is not that big of a surprise if it did actually happen on the field, but it seems like coaches and players and officials have been said to use that signal is like basically like something really bad has to happen. So for this coach to use the proper signal that has been told to them to use if something racist occurs, I feel like something must have happened on the field.
Probably.
When it comes to the game, several former players have come out to speak on this game in particular. Roy Keane, former Irish footballer and coach, now pundit, said, "I believe Egypt could have won this match if the referee had made the correct decisions. Egypt's second goal should have stood, while Argentina's third goal came after a clear foul on Mohamed Salah, a challenge very similar to the one that led to Egypt's second goal being disallowed. In my opinion, Egypt lost because of the referee's decision." Jamie Carragher, former English footballer, now pundit, said he believed Egypt's disallowed goal would have counted in most major leagues and pointed to what he saw as inconsistent VAR decisions throughout the tournament. Marcelo, former Brazilian footballer, couldn't understand why Egypt's goal was ruled out and argued football has become too soft and questioned why VAR stepped in for that particular incident. Paul Scholes, former English footballer, now coach, described the match as one of the biggest refereeing controversies he's ever witnessed and believes Egypt rarely got the benefit of the doubt throughout the 90 minutes. Thomas Roncero, Spanish journalist, quote, The thing with FIFA and Argentina and the World Cup is so that all the teams can just retire. Little penalties, little prior fouls, and anything else to avoid them getting eliminated. Admirable the titanic effort of Egypt, but they don't stand a chance. They're not going to let them. Then he went on to say, quote, another World Cup stained forever. A great country like Egypt doesn't deserve such an outrage. This isn't football, pure business without feeling. Thierry Henry, do I need to introduce him?
Yeah. One of the best soccer players, footballers of all time. He is a World Cup winner with France. He would have had another one, except for his his teammate decided to headbutt the Italian player, so he would have had two. And he's the best player to ever play for the New York Red Bulls. But what did he say?
He felt Egypt had done enough to win after going 2 goals up and argued that the refereeing decisions shifted the momentum and became one of the biggest talking points of the night in Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He said the Pharaohs deserved more, using Egypt's nickname, and that football should always be decided by performance, not controversial calls.
And it's because it's like I'm torn because it's messy, and I just love watching that dude play soccer. Then again, that game had a bad taste in my mouth.
And if like Messi is good enough, you don't need to rig it for him.
Hello, Brendan.
Hello. So yeah, it is one of those where like at first when people are like, "Oh, FIFA is rigging this for Argentina," at first I was like, no, it's just like Argentina's a good team. Like they're the reigning champs. Like, but then when you really like look at everything from each match and just the decisions and like the inconsistencies and how things seem to always be going Argentina's way and not be going the way of the opponents on the field, it kind of feels like it's been a directive from the top saying, hey, you know, the best way to make money off this tournament is for the U.S. to go as far as they can and for Argentina and Messi to go as far as they can and possibly win this.
Or France.
But they care more about Messi than Mbappe.
Yes.
Messi is their cash cow. Mbappe is not. And Mbappe is not because Mbappe speaks out on social issues.
Gotcha.
Where Messi doesn't. And so that the U.S. because it's U.S. soil, Messi because he's Messi and he also keeps things to himself. Mm-hmm. So, and then lastly, Switzerland beat Colombia on penalty kicks after a 0-0 in the game. Okay. But now that the U.S. is out, who are you rooting for? And do they row?
Obviously, Norway has been awesome this whole tournament. You know, you always want the team that beats your team to win it, so you can just sit there and say, hey, you know, we lost to the best. So I guess Belgium.
No, I want them to lose.
But
horrifically. I want Spain to kill them.
Anyway,
7-1.
Yeah, it's definitely not England. No. I mean, I just want something different, but France, like we were saying, France just looks so good. I know they only beat Paraguay 1-0, but they still won. Survive in advance. You got to beat them when you can. Obviously,
they're the best team in the tournament.
But they're the best team in the tournament. You can see every team. You're like, well, they've got this problem, they've got this problem, they've got this problem. You look at France, they really don't have the problems that the other teams have. That being said, I do want Norway to go as far as humanly possible.
I want Norway in the final. Now, would it be awesome if they win and they get to add a star? Because the women's team has a star because the women won the second ever Women's World Cup in 1995. So the women get to have a star when the men don't. I think, it's us and Norway are the only ones. Because, Germany, the women have 2 stars, but the men have 4. And then Spain got their star after the men got their star. So this is one of those, us and Norway. It's we have the star before the men do. Right. We got 4.
Yeah, they're good at skiing while shooting guns in the Winter Olympics, and good at when you have a revolutionary or generational player, not revolutionary, generational player in Holland, and who's lived up to the billing. So yeah.
Now, ready to get a little weird.
Let's get weird.
Now, our weirdness, because it is the World Cup, it is going to continue soccer-wise. And you know what? It's the old logo. I kind of miss this old logo a little bit.
I do miss the old logo. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, like, swap the Patriots and Knicks. The Patriots thing happened before the Knicks thing, but you know.
That's it. Whoever this graphic designer was, need to have a talk with them. If you're gonna make the funny, which it is, at least be correct.
Yeah, to do it in order.
Do it in order. Okay. Ugh.
But yeah, that old logo.
That old logo was nice.
Yeah, I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
But Josh, where can the people find us?
They can find us live for the next 2 days. Tomorrow will be myself and Justin going live, as I alluded to earlier. Do our Ruckus Wrestling at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Then on Friday, we are going to do our book club. Going to come back. The Raven Scholar is what we'll be going over.
It's over there on my bed, too far away.
The first of a trilogy, I believe. Is that correct?
I am unsure on that. I know that it is a series. I don't know if the second book has come out yet or not.
Okay. But yeah, we'll be doing that. And and our book for the next month has already been decided. It's what thief is it?
This one I actually have right here. So the book thief.
The book thief. Gotcha.
Yeah. So we have that, and then after that, because there was a tie, we have August book as well, and that is Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wang. So you know the two next books, and then we already have the next 2 books have already been decided too. That happened at the beginning, because remember I said I was going to be a booktator for half of the year.
Yep.
So we know all of our books for 4 months now.
Yeah.
So join the Discord. You know what they are. You could buy them in advance, and hopefully they show up on time. Unlike when
the Poppy War, or no. Yours. Project Hail Mary for you.
This showed up weeks. This showed up over a month late for me to actually read it.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much. Because I ordered it at the beginning of the month that we were reading, and it showed up at the end of the following month, way too late for us to actually review it here.
And then I think Ryan, the Poppy War, didn't get to him in forever.
Yeah. So the following month, that happened to him. So
right. But we'll be doing the Raven Scholar. So on that. Yeah, that's pretty much, other than that, we've got some other things in the works that we're thinking about doing. Mm-hmm. And obviously the Fantasy F round will be coming back in August. Right around there.
There you go. Ready for our moment of Zen?
Let's do it.
Turns out football players not as good at soccer, but some of them.
Wait, that was good. That was great. Good. That was tough.
You gotta throw the arms down, dude.
Yeah, for the Suey.
Yeah, if you're gonna do the Suey, come correct on it. Come on. You literally just you got that's the whole point.
You gotta
throw the arms down. That's the point of the celebration.
So some of them got it.
Some of them
don't.
No. But yeah. No, and then they showed Jordan Love after he couldn't do that. But yeah, Kenny Moore. He was like, you were great until the Suey. Like he even did this. He even did the you know.
He
the
even did the spin. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just didn't throw the arms. You got to put the dot on the exclamation mark, man. Yeah, but no, Jordan Love, we need to talk to you about that stuff, man. Yeah, football players being bad at football. I don't know.
Anyways, thank you all. Thank you, Josh, as always, and see you guys next week.